I love them.
Thank you.
Okay. Go ahead, Peg. Take it away.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Rise and Shine, off the cuffs early morning show on Tuesday mornings each week. This week we are going to have another columnist, and her name is Yvonne Alers. Let's see. Okay. And also, I'm going to talk more about her and what she writes about and what her passions are that she has in life after DC Love and Sprinkles, who are co-owners of OTC, to tell you about themselves, and then I will introduce you to Yvonne. So, DC, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I sure do. Good morning, Peg. Good morning, Sprinkles. Good morning, Yvonne. And good morning, everyone listening. This is DC Love. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I was born with psychic and mediumship abilities. I'm a channeler, a healer, and an empath. I've communicated with my loved ones who have crossed over. I communicate with the angels and the ascended masters. I've been to heaven a few times, and this for me has been life-changing. I've even had an opportunity to channel healing messages for Jesus. I have a background in law enforcement. I've studied the martial arts. I'm a Reiki master in the Usui and the Sikkim methods of Reiki. And I've basically hung up my 357, and now love is my revolver. So my purpose this time around is to help people in a loving way. Love is what I am. Love is what I do. Love is what I listen to. Everyone, this is DC Love.
Thank you, DC.
Thank you.
And Sprinkles, our fearless leader.
Mm-hmm. I don't know about fearless, but okay. I'm Sprinkles. I'm a tarot reader, palm reader, psychic medium, editor, publisher, cartoonist. I run the gamut. I just about try to do everything I can. I don't want to miss anything. And I'm trouble. Yes, I am definitely trouble, but good trouble. It's all good trouble. And yeah, that's me, and wrapped up in a little ball, if you want, and have fun.
Thank you, Sprinkles. Okay, now Yvonne. Yvonne, I had the honor of meeting last fall. I had put out an ad on Amazon Local, and she was one of the people that called to book a reading with me, and we just got to talk about angels and all that, and so she became a student too. But she's a very interesting person with a lot of different interests. She's a graduate of Simmons College, where she majored in American history, philosophy, and Spanish literature. And her positive experience as an undergraduate moved her to pursue an MBA from the School of Management at Simmons College. But earlier in her career, Yvonne decided she would want to use her talents to empower women and children. And so she fulfilled her childhood dream of studying the martial arts. And she had the opportunity to learn at the Okinawan Karate at the Academy of Kodan Ryu in Boston, Massachusetts. And her focus in her martial arts was to encourage more women to become a part of learning about martial arts. And so in 2009, she began teaching her first class of kickboxing, and she has other certificates too. She holds a certificate in group resistance training, youth fitness, senior fitness, nutrition, RIPPED, Tabata boot camp, Masala Bhangra workout, which is an Indian-inspired dance, and Zumba. And she also works with kids. And She has also become a self-defense instructor for RAD, which is Rape Aggression Defense Systems. And the best of both worlds, RAD is a 12-hour program that teaches women self-defense techniques and offers a lifetime return in practice policy. She teaches advanced and keychain as well, which I'm not sure what that is, and she can tell us all about that. And she also works with kids, RADKID, Rad Kid instructor, and it's a personal and safety empowerment education program for kids. So with that, I would like to welcome Yvonne Alers. Hello, Yvonne.
Hi, Peg. How are you? Hi, DC. Hi, Sprinkles. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I'm truly honored and thankful to be here today. So thank you.
Thank you for being here too. Yes. We're really glad to have you here. And I just want to talk a little bit about the column, and then we'll go into your other aspects too. But can you just tell us a little bit about what your column is on Off the Cuff Easing?
Every month I like to submit something that just has to do with health and fitness. I really believe that I actually called it Love, Health, and Fitness because I believe that all three tie in one. And once you start to really love yourself and appreciate who you are and feel comfortable with your body and comfortable in your own skin, you actually want to take on more of the kind of like a health role. You become more of an advocate of being healthy for yourself. And you start to really embrace fitness. So I see all three of them tied up in one, and I'm such a firm believer that given today the way the pressure's on us to look a certain way, I really want to be able to empower others to get beyond that and just to realize that we are perfect just the way we are, and it's just enhancing ourselves through self-care by kind of implementing more of a fitness and health role in our lives. That's all.
Yep, that's great. And I know that you personally have had some, like, you know, it's not as so much as exercise. I mean, that's always been something that you've been doing, but with the food and everything, you'd also write about the food and you know, how we all have you know, we all have different metabolisms, so we all have different ways that the food we respond to the food, etc. And you personally have had some experiences with that too.
Yes, I have.
So I just was wondering what you wanted to talk about on that.
I think the main thing is that I notice more and more as I work with others that one of the main things that people are always coming up to me is that they'll say to me, oh my goodness, I was so bad this week. I ate horribly and I can't believe I actually ate that. And you begin to have like guilty feelings for what you've consumed that day. And I always tell folks, you know, start off each day as a new day. Each day is a new start for you. It's a new opportunity to be able to work on you. The more you focus on labeling yourself as a good person or a bad person when it comes to food, then you're actually going to take away that food is there to kind of give you sustenance. It's there to fuel your body. So it's just making kind of different choices on a certain day. So you've had a day where you felt that maybe you didn't eat the way you would have liked to. That's okay. Just let's move on and see the next day as a new start for you, and just being much more aware of who you are as a person and becoming more in tune to your body, because our body always tells us what we need given that day. You're starting to feel a little tired. Most of us tend to reach for that cup of coffee. Instead, reach for a nice glass of water. That's basically your body's telling you, listen, I need some water. I need to be hydrated. So oftentimes it's just kind of listening and becoming better in tune to our bodies.
Mm-hmm. No, that's very true. It's very true. And, you know, and then there's also triggers like, you know, like sugar and, you know, and flour products. You know, some of us may have issues where we just can't stop eating it, you know, and so it's I think it's understanding that and trying to, make the adjustments that are needed for that too, and just being aware of, of the alternatives that we have too.
Exactly. And you brought up a good point, Peg, is that the reality is that our bodies will tell us certain days. And I always find that if you've had something that just doesn't agree with you, that's a trigger. That's telling you that your body really doesn't need it. And we've been so hard on ourselves, and what we need to keep in mind is that we've been eating a certain way for many, many years, and it's become part of our lifestyle. But the most important thing that we need to realize is that you can't make these changes overnight. It has to be gradual. And a lot of times we focus on the programs out there that say, lose X amount of weight and so much, but are they really teaching you how to eat a certain way so that you can maintain that ideal size that's right for you? Because each person has a size that's perfect for them.
That's really true, and I think more and more, there are more and more programs that are out there that are seeing this, even like health coach programs and stuff. They're not so into the, eat this, this, and this. It's what can you eat? What can you, what can you process within your body? And I think it's not only food, but it's the amount of exercise. I think some people are able to do more exercise than others, and so it's just finding that limit, or finding that it's almost like a recipe of what is best for you personally, so and I know we have talked about this a lot too, that so I just find it very interesting, and I wanted to and in DC and Sprinkles asked you about the martial arts things, like you had said that it was something you had done, or not something that you had done, but something that you had wanted to do from the time you were a young child, but you just weren't able to, or your parents didn't want you to, or?
It's funny you say that, because I have always just been fascinated with the martial arts, and just remember as a child just watching anything that had to do with martial arts. My mother was a little bit adamant about what she perceived as what girls should and shouldn't do, and sports and martial arts were not one of them. And I think at the time it was something that was always in the back of my head, and so when it was presented to me 10 years ago, when a coworker of mine was, I was actually doing a bio for him because I worked in the HR department at that time, and he was actually a new employee. So when he wrote his short bio, the last line said, I have a black belt in Okinawan karate, and I immediately had to talk to him and said, okay, what is the deal? I want to do this. This is the time. And I just knew that everything had just aligned perfectly for me to be able to take the martial arts, and it was such it came into my life at the perfect time, because what a great way to be able to feel empowered, to be able to have the tools available to you, and just it really changes your whole perspective on everything. I found myself really embracing the fitness more. I had always in high school and college worked out and did things, but this took me to a whole different level, and I just fell in love with it to such a point that I wanted to bring more women into the dojo. Our style is a little bit more traditional, so I found that some of the workouts weren't necessarily appealing to some of the women. So I, as a challenge to my instructor, not challenging him in the martial arts because of his history and years of experience over me, but just really wanting to bring more women in, he just said, okay, go for it, do it. And that's when I did my first kickboxing class. It was an unbelievable experience, and just to be able to have women in the room feeling empowered, loving the exercise, and coming back regularly. I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. And from that point on, I really started to see not just a martial martial arts as a part of my life purpose, but also I began to see fitness as another venue for me to reach out to more people and empower them.
That's great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and then it's an enrichment and an enhancement in one's life. I know I put my well, I didn't put them yet. My two girls when they were younger and my son, we had enrolled them in Taekwondo, okay, and the girls superseded my son, and it was like wow, and they really loved it, and it did a lot because there's so much that is in it, and it just about allows you and empowers you, like you said, of your own self. You know, it makes you feel like, okay, you kind of stand out now. You're solid. You stand out. So that I've seen that in them, and my son pursued it more, but they still remember their moves, and they got kids of their own now. So it can be very empowering. I think I should have took up a class.
You can always take RAD. It's a great program geared for women. It's a nice way of teaching women self-defense techniques over a 12-hour program. It's a 12-hour program, and then you walk out with a manual, and at any point in time throughout the country, you can just check into any place that's offering a RAD class and repeat some of it or all of it. So that's also another way of empowering yourself, Sprinkles.
Wow. Well, I'm going to look into it. I need it at this time in my life. I really do. So I will definitely look into it, and I'm going to get your okay on it whenever I get it.
Now, is that a live program that you teach, or we'd have to go to your area to learn it from you?
The nice thing is that if you're not from the Boston area, you can always check out the RAD Systems website, and they'll show you different locations throughout the country.
Very nice. Now, do you feel like with the martial arts per se, because I myself feel like it was more than just learning, like I've learned karate and kung fu, but there was a lot of self-discipline there, and it just made me feel like, more empowered as a person.
Yes. I definitely, when I look at my life, as a child I tended to be much more quiet and reserved and not necessarily outspoken. And I think once I went to Simmons College, an all-women's college, it kind of taught me wow, I actually have a voice. But the martial arts and the RAD systems took it to another level because it really taught me that as a woman, it's so important for us to be able to speak out, and it shouldn't be seen as being disrespectful or being challenging, but it should be seen as we are women and we have the right to be able to protect ourselves and not be allowed to have anyone hurt us. And that's what RAD and martial arts is all about. It's just really teaching you, and also most importantly is teaching you when is the right time to be able to use these skills.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And there's a program for kids too now.
Yes. RAD Kids is a great program. It's broken up into different age groups, and the first one is 3 to 5, and up to 11. And it's just a program that really goes through bullying and cyberbullying and fire safety, dog safety, all these other things that we wouldn't necessarily think of for kids, and that you may not be presented with in a traditional martial arts class.
Right. I felt that it was, it gave me like a little bit more. It helped with my school studies. I was only 16 when I started. So it not only, like I said, the discipline, the self-confidence, but it sort of like, in a way, it was like sort of like a religion almost, because it gave you like all that philosophy and everything. It went beyond physical moves.
Yes, absolutely. It's definitely, the nice thing about the martial arts is that given today's violence in society, it just teaches you that you have all these skills, you have all these techniques, you have to be wise about using them, because the reality is that you are yourself a powerful tool now. Do you want to just react at any situation, or do you need to just deflect the situation? And a lot of times in martial arts, people always come up to me, and once they find out I teach martial arts or I'm a martial artist, the first thing they say is, "Oh my goodness, don't punch me, don't punch me," and they hold their hands up. And I know a lot of times they're just teasing me, but the reality is that martial arts isn't about us starting a fight. It's usually about us avoiding a fight. And we use our words and we use different techniques to be able to diffuse a situation. And that's why it's so important today to have children be able to learn these skills so that they can handle different situations in their lives and handle them wisely. I wouldn't want a child to be in a situation that compromises themselves and now they're in a situation where they may have to fight several kids. That's not what we want to teach. We want to teach the child that, listen, you can get out of this situation, use your words, use other techniques, and then if all that fails, then at least you have other tools available to you.
Right.
Yeah, it's almost as a step-by-step of respecting one's body and protecting it, but yet knowing that, hey, I am somebody, and I think that is so cool for those kids that are usually shy and withdrawn and they hold back and they come out, they actually come out to where they're no longer that way.
Exactly.
That is so inspiring. And
I mean, and for the kids who may feel powerless, they have finally a sense of, I can deal with this, I don't have to go run or feel bad that I wasn't able to handle, whatever the situation was, and I can make myself clear about how I feel about that, so it gives them a voice.
Exactly.
And ways of dealing. So, yeah.
Actually, it's funny because my motto for the kids is I can and I will. And I tell them all the time, whenever something seems to be hard, whether it's a math problem or that spelling word or that extra push-up I've just made you do, you just keep talking yourself and saying I can and I will. And that's why for me, when I thought of Ready, Fit, Defend, I always thought of it as more kind of, I came up with that name because as a child, the words I dreaded the most were ready, set, go, because I wasn't a runner. I wasn't necessarily someone that was very active as a child, so I would always trail behind, and I wanted the organization to represent, something where all of us, women and children, are getting ready, we're becoming fit, and then we also have the power and the tools to defend ourselves if need be.
That's beautiful.
That's great.
I can't believe you went beyond like the karate and you went into the cardio kickboxing and the self-defense. I mean, it's totally amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're really empowered, and you've through your empowerment you've helped so many.
Thank you.
That's really beautiful. Now tell us a little bit about the raw foods certification.
Oh, I'm actually working on that now. I'm doing that through the David Wolf program. I've always been, actually 4 years ago, I had some stomach issues. And as a child, I struggled with stomach issues, but I didn't necessarily know what it was. And as a child, everyone would tell my parents, oh, she has a nervous stomach. Well, about 4 years ago, I went to a housewarming party on New Year's Eve. And I just remember that evening just being up all night, tossing and turning. It was the worst stomach ache I had ever had. And intuitively, my body just said, you know what, Yvonne, that's it. We are not going to put any more meat or this in your body. And I just really shied away from a lot of things. And I was actually sick for about a month and a half. And so when I went to a natural herbalist, we went through a raw food program. It's actually a plant-based program, and just to kind of flush out my body and really get rid of a lot of the toxins. And so I began to embrace more of a vegan lifestyle, and as well as a raw. So both lifestyles have been really good to me. A lot of people come up to me and say, how do you do it? I can't believe you do that. That sounds so hard. But my body just knew that's exactly what I needed. And I tell others, you don't have to take on a vegan lifestyle or raw or vegetarian or whatever. You have the choice to choose what works best for you, because one particular lifestyle may not apply to you, and it's just, for me, that's what works best for me. And my family has been extremely supportive of it, and my father and my grandmother have taken some of the traditional Latin dishes and kind of made them vegan for me. So it's actually kind of neat to see my family really being supportive of my lifestyle.
That is neat. That is really great.
Now, do you use the spirulina powder at all?
Actually, it's funny you asked that, because I just purchased it and I'm going to start adding some of it to my smoothies.
I think it's phenomenal, because I myself have allergies, and it does help with the allergies. And
okay, I'll definitely try that. So do you add it to smoothies as well?
You know what? I like to make. I put it in my hot tea,
Oh,
and it looks like you're drinking like an algae bath, but I love it. I
I'll
love
have
it.
to try it.
Yeah, it really helps. But I have allergies, so even a lot of the raw stuff I can't have. Like if I were to make like raw orange juice or anything, it's not pasteurized, so it would actually affect me.
Oh, wow.
I have a lot of allergies, like to environmental things. So my case is a little bit more complicated, and I'm trying to find like the middle of the road where it works for me. I can't eat fresh fruits. I get hives, so I have issues. So I'm just trying to figure out. But the spirulina powder specifically does help with the allergies. And for someone that doesn't eat meat and stuff, it's really good, I guess, like iron-wise as well. It has a lot of benefits.
Thank you.
Is
Yeah.
there a difference between a vegan and a vegetarian? Aren't they the same thing?
Actually, it's funny you asked that, Sprinkles, because I get that question asked a lot. The true definition of a vegan is that we shy away from all animal products, and including honey, so they stay away from that. Whereas a vegetarian can actually have some dairy. My case is more health related, so it's what tends to agree better with my digestive system. So that's why I tend to just adopt the vegan and a raw food lifestyle. But
Now,
I can't do
use raw
dairy. I
honey?
can't do eggs anymore.
Do you use raw honey from your area though? Are you able to?
As a vegan, you would not use honey, but
Okay.
again, because I'm embracing both lifestyles, the raw foodists will use honey. So because I've had some issues, I just started to use it. I probably would not. Some vegans might say that I'm not being true to the definition of a vegan, but again, I'm doing it more for health reasons, not necessarily
Yeah.
for ethical
Well,
reasons.
I use the raw honey specifically from my area, and that again helps with allergies.
Yes.
But it has to be like from your area. You have
Correct.
to get it specifically for your area, and it really does. That helps as well. Along with like natural apple cider vinegar with the mothers in it.
Yeah, I've had that.
Bragg's is a great system, great product.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Well, I just wanted to report that for the past week, I have rid myself of flour, wheat, and sugar.
Nice,
And,
very good.
And I started walking this morning, so
Very cool.
I am on my way.
Yes, you are.
We're not that far
and
from
I
one
feel
another,
great.
Peg, so we have to connect again.
Definitely. Yep, we definitely do. So I'm on my way. I finally did what I was supposed to do. Well, not what what I wanted to do. It's almost like, that sugar, it just gets in me and it just does something. But now I'm getting it out and I feel wonderful. My head feels clear and I haven't had bread in a week either, and it's something I've been trying to do for 8 years again. So every little bit helps, I guess. Just day at a time.
But you said the magic word, Peg. This is something you've been dealing with for 8 years, but your approach is the right way. Is you're being gradual with it. A lot of times we tend to be hard on ourselves because we really want everything quick. We want quick results, but we have to always keep in mind that we really have been doing this for a long time. So we have to be patient with ourselves. And so, Peg, I'm really excited that you're taking this nice gradual approach and you realize that this is what works best for you.
Yeah, and I'm also just writing down what I'm eating each day, and then eventually I'm gonna just kind of plan my meals out day to day, and just kind of stick to that. But right now I'm just writing it down, just kind of seeing what I'm having, and it's working pretty good.
Do you think that people tend to be fearful of changing their diet ways? Because I tried being a vegetarian way back with my kids and everything, and it was like it just wasn't. They were not taking it. They missed their normal thing. But I also got the fear at the time that maybe I'm not giving them the right nutrients. Maybe I'm not giving them the right proteins. How do I know? Because there's so much out there, and it can get really confusing. What kind of guide would you give for others out there when they're trying to clean their system and get it fit?
You know, it's funny you say that, because the reality is that, again, each lifestyle is different for each person, and so at that time, being a vegetarian may not have been ideal for you, but you also realized that you needed to kind of bring in more of a plant-based lifestyle into your meals. And so I'd always tell people is start off slow. I think smoothies and juicing is probably a great way to be able to introduce that into our life. Some people they're not really into having a salad. They just don't like it. And actually in the past, I've had people say, oh, rabbit food, because unfortunately that's how people view a salad. And so if that doesn't work, you know, have a smoothie. Make a smoothie either once or twice a week. Juicing is also another way if you prefer that you don't want to juice, because making smoothies is much more easier. Again, it's based on what works best for you. My main thing is to just encourage people to add more fruits and vegetables into their lifestyle. And there's just so many different ways of doing it nowadays. So that's the nice thing about it. And you can always go online and say, okay, you know, I want to make this particular type of salad with these ingredients, and just try things out, test it out, and you really will be pleasantly surprised at how much stuff out there is so good for you, and that you can still get your nutrients. And a lot of folks still believe that the only way to get protein is through meat, because that's what we've been conditioned. But there are so many fruits and vegetables out there, especially vegetables out there, that will give you those nutrients that you need as well.
Now, do you use
right. And also,
I was wondering about the organic extra virgin coconut oil, because that's really beneficial to one's diet.
Yes, I actually use that quite a bit. I'll tend to use either coconut oil. I'll add it to my smoothies. I might cook with it or something. So it really there's just so much out there that you can use and tweak for different things. So it's great. And coconut oil, there's so many benefits to that as well.
Yeah, you know what I like the coconut oil. I always have it on hand, because even like if we get a scratch or something, it's like a natural antibiotic ointment. And also, if you're going to go outside in the sun, it's a natural sunscreen. And you could use it when you get out of the bathtub. It's a natural moisturizer.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of toothpaste has like so many different ingredients that you really don't want. And you could switch it up for the coconut oil, and you're not getting all the other stuff that you don't need.
Exactly.
So I keep that on hand. I mean, I do have allergies, but that's one thing I can tolerate, and I really maximize using it.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of putting butter on like something, I put a coconut oil on it, a dollop of coconut oil, and it really enhances the flavor of things. It's amazing.
See, but DC, the nice thing about you is that you also realize that because of some of your restrictions, that you've made eating or made certain choices that work best for you. And that's really what it's all about. Everyone out there will give you, I call them the non-experts with the unsolicited advice. Everyone knows something or claims to know something about nutrition, and they want to tell you what works for you. Well, you should do this, you should do that. But the reality is that they're not you. So you know that your body can only tolerate certain things. And it's always nice to be able to talk to folks who understand and are so in touch with their bodies that they get it, and that's really nice. And if you're having a hard time understanding it, then that's where I kind of come in and say, okay, let's work together. Let's figure out how we can make things right for you, how we can make things so that you are able to have a much more balanced meal or meal plan, or however it is that you'd like. It's certain choices. You know, I'd like to add more smoothies, but I don't really know where to start. I don't know what to do. Then that's where I kind of come in and can guide you.
Right. See, I have a problem with like the fresh foods and things. Like I would love to just eat nuts and fish and berries, but being that I can't have it, like I said, I really work a lot harder trying to find nutritional foods and try to steer away from junk food,
Grow your own garden, DC, because you'll taste that difference from your own grown.
Because we do, but like I said, there's a lot of fresh stuff I can't have,
I
also have found.
Love it.
using different grains too, like quinoa. You know, there's so many different ways you can
That's really
use
good.
quinoa. And amaranth too, and even millet. You know, there's a lot of different. You know, it can be a substitute for like, you know, like bread, or, you know, or
Definitely.
yeah, you know, carbohydrates and different things. So and beans, but I mean, but not everyone can tolerate beans, or they can't tolerate grains, so it's just finding. But also, as far as like introducing to a family, I mean, I remember when my sister-in-law had become very ill from cancer, and she went to macrobiotic, you know, which is pure, you know, no dairy, no meat, maybe a little bit of fish, but it's grains and vegetables and fruit, beans, and you know, so she at first it was just her that was doing it. Then slowly over the years, she introduced that way with her family too, with her two children who were young, and my brother, and now they are all veg. They are all vegans, or are on macrobiotics. You know, I mean, I think my brother has an occasional turkey dinner at Thanksgiving at my mother's, but but you know, he's pretty much vegan, or macrobiotic, you know, and it's interesting because other family members have adopted it to, maybe not to the extent that they have, but it's like I love going to our Thanksgiving meals because there's no cream sauce, you know, vegetables, you know, it's all fresh steamed, you know, vegetables, and it's wonderful to go. I don't feel like I'm stuffing myself like I used to so many years before that. But you know, it's just, you know, like introducing a new dish, you know, and still having the meat there for those that want it. You know, it's, you know,
Do you
just
have
different.
classes and courses that focus on that, the nutrition and the vegan?
What I do, will kind of have like small workshops, or I will go to different locations, just kind of briefly talk about the different choices out there for you. But again, I always like to stress to folks that it really is just being more in tune with your body and seeing what works for you. I have had some folks that have tried the vegan lifestyle on their own and have said, "Oh my goodness, I tried it and it was horrible," because it wasn't something that would it wasn't suitable for them. So what they would do is they would just adopt different things. And I tell folks, you know, you can also do like one day a week where you decide, you know what, just for today I don't want to have meat. This is what I'm going to do, and it's just really being aware of who you are as a person and what works best for you. I know for my son, being a vegan is not even a choice because with he works out more than I do. So and for him, he loves his meat, he loves his steak, and that is him. So each person is different, and even within the household, it's just having that respect for one another and realizing that each person is different.
And you know, I take it beyond the people in our family. Like, I have a dog, and I'll just like put all my veggies like in the food processor, and I'll add maybe like fresh turkey for her, but it has like all the veggies as well, you know. So I go beyond, and even like the pets should, you know, you should think of your pets too, not just like the people, because they are members of our family.
Correct.
You know?
Yeah. If you have pets.
And even their tummies can't handle certain things, so that's telling us something.
With the tummies too, like I said, I have like a lot of allergies, so I do use the probiotics.
Yep,
I mean, that helps. Like acidophilus and different probiotics really helps.
Have you tried kombucha? That's also a nice thing as well.
Now, is that the tea?
The kombucha you can get, it's kind of like a tea, yes. You can also get it at stores already bottled, and you can just drink it too. It's great. It's also a nice way of just kind of strengthening that tummy of ours that's been through so much.
Was that like a mushroom kombucha?
Yes.
I have to try that. That's yeah. My daughter-in-law, she has her little thing and it's covered, and she's making the tea. You know, the kombucha tea.
I
Yeah.
think
There
I
are
had
some starter kits that you can make at home as well.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Cool. I'll have to, I think I had it was like a ginger kombucha yesterday. I was at Whole Foods and had it there. It was good. It was
It
very
is
good.
good. Mm-hmm.
I
No
usually
cookies.
I use like ginger and cinnamon a lot too because that helps my stomach.
Yeah. Yep.
I remember that, but that was years ago. We used to use that too because we were getting into vegetarian meals and stuff. There was something else I want to say. Now I can't remember it. But I'll get it. I'll be right back.
Well, you're such an amazing woman, and you help so many, and we applaud you for that, Yvonne.
Thank you. I really enjoy what I do, and I think if you had told me 10 years ago this is what I would be doing with my life, I don't know if I would have actually believed you, but I really enjoy it. I love having the classes filled with folks and just people that really start to appreciate and see how great our bodies are. And when we put our bodies to the test, when we do the particular, if you've never ran a 5K and all of a sudden you say, I'm going to do this, and you actually do it, it's just such a rewarding feeling. And when you go home and you fuel yourself with the right things, it really just completes you as a person, and it affects every area of your life. It makes you much more able to handle some of those situations, challenges in our lives, because you've already got the empowering tools. You've got the fitness on your side, you've got the nutrition, and you've got all these other things available to you. And if you surround yourself with the right folks, I always tell people, those family members or friends that we have that want to comment on our side or want to comment on how you look that particular day, you've got to turn off those voices in your head, and most importantly, you've got to shut them off and just say, okay, this conversation cannot continue, because it isn't acceptable to have people comment on your body. And unfortunately, people tend to do that too regularly, and there's no need for it. So that's my take. I always tell people, just tell them, okay, that's it, I'm leaving.
Yep. Walk out of the room. See you later.
What I want to ask you about, you also do Reiki, isn't that correct?
Yes, I actually have started doing Reiki. I'm really excited to be able to see energy healing, because I really believe that, again, when you add the health, the fitness, and you add the ability to be able to self-heal or be able to heal others, it's just an amazing tool. And Reiki is I can't even put it into words, because it's been such an awesome experience for me, and I'm really grateful and thankful that door has presented itself. It's opened up to me, and that's given me the opportunity to really be able to empower others in other ways.
And which method of Reiki are you studying?
Usui as well. Usui through the Women of Wisdom.
Okay.
So I'm really excited about that as well.
Very cool. Yeah, I love Reiki. I mean, you just incorporate it into your everyday life. It's amazing.
Yes. And if you do use Reiki on yourself in the morning and at night, it's such a great way to start your day, and it's a great way to end your evening. It just relaxes you. You're able to sleep better. You're able to feel a lot better about things. You can kind of turn off some of the things that may have happened throughout the day that weren't so great, and then just Reiki just kind of like almost flushes it right out of you.
And you know what I notice when I do Reiki on my family, you receive it as well. I give it to my family regularly, and you feel the benefits as well. While you're giving, you're also receiving.
Exactly.
It's wonderful.
Exactly.
And I have, like, the dog will be sleeping, and I'll be giving her
And
Reiki.
there's so many.
The ears twitch, so I know she's receiving it. The ears go when they start twitching.
Well, I think it's an amazing thing that you're able to go and share this with others about their bodies, because I love life, okay, and we are the essence of this beautiful energy, and it's all within us. And I think people are becoming more and more aware of their physical self. Do you know what I mean? And their spiritual self, because it's conjoining, and there's so much out. It's like a boom in more self-knowledge, more self-empowerment. that's what I love, the empowerment, self-empowerment one.
You know,
To
it's
finally stand up and be there. It's like stand up and be counted kind of thing, you know what I mean? But it could be very liberating for some that have been so reclusive, so set back, and they finally are coming out and tasting life, and I think that is awesome. And if you can do that for one person, that's awesome. That really is great. So I applaud you. Very, very nice.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah. And you do just as much as what I do. I do a lot of different things. I mean, wow, you're out there too, so that's great. That's absolutely great. And it's a pleasure meeting you. And we gotta have you come back because I want to know more. I want to try to get into. See, I do Qigong, and I do a lot of swimming. So physically, that's where I get my exercise kind of in it. It's too hot in the desert. I'm in Arizona. It's too hot out there to go around. So I'm outside. I'm in the pool. So. But yeah, I think it's very important that we all have some sort of exercise regime, food intake regime. You know what I mean? To have a plan to go by so that we become stronger. We become more knowledgeable of what our body is needing. So.
Now, do you share some of your recipes that are plant-based recipes and things?
I can share some of them.
Yeah, I'm sure you have, over time have some really cool recipes.
Yes, and I love making kale chips. I love my dehydrators become my best friend.
I don't have a dehydrator yet, but I just make them in the oven.
One. Yeah.
Yeah, I make them in the oven, and you could put on any seasonings that you would prefer, like on potato chips, but I just put a little bit of the pink sea salt. I put a little bit of that on them, and if anyone wants like a sandwich, or I'll just serve it with kale chips as opposed to, regular chips.
So much healthier for you.
I like
it. It actually has more nutrients than spinach, believe it or not. Kale is like super packed with nutrients.
My daughter brought some up, and I gotta say, I don't care for kale chips.
It definitely is an acquired taste, Sprinkles.
Yeah, I love them. I absolutely love them. Our family goes crazy. And I mix like fresh kale with some fresh spinach. And a little bit of extra virgin olive oil and a little bit of garlic. And oh my God, they go nuts over that too.
They're good in smoothies too. And my sister-in-law, the one that works in the macrobiota, works with or eats the macrobiota. They have it with their oatmeal each morning. Now I don't know if I can quite do that, but I mean in the oatmeal, they cook it in the oatmeal.
I think chicken soup. I think
I like fruit a little bit more than oatmeal, but
that's a good one.
I think it's because of my belief that, you have to have fruit for breakfast or, something sweet, so for me to have kale at breakfast, I don't know if I could do that. But it's something I can strive for, I guess, right?
I think
if you add it to your food, I guess you won't know it's in there.
You don't even know it's in there unless you see it.
Exactly.
Well, big leaves. That's what I've seen, and it's like, no, thank you. I'll just have a few blueberries and apples in my oatmeal, and I'll be very happy.
But see, Peg, that's actually what works for you, Peg, which is great.
Exactly. Oh, I know. But we all. Oh well, but it's
the funny thing, Peg, like with the angelic energy, like a lot of people that work with the angels and stuff. At times, like I don't know, like you just get where I just like munch on junk food, and it's just part of the angelic energy.
It is, yeah, and
so I mean, I even myself so I try to grab some like dark chocolate or something. At least it's like a choice,
Yeah, but that I do have once in a while, but I haven't had it in a week. That's another thing, as far as coaching or or doing a reading, and you're giving a card reading, and you pick healthy lifestyle, so you're giving ideas to this person, and it's like, it's like, don't ask me if I do it or not, please. So it's kind of like walking the walk and talking the talk, you know.
Yeah.
So that's and that's important to me. So I'm really striving to be able to do that, and I'm gonna, I think
awesome.
doing my blog, my food blog that I started 8 years ago. I'm going to work on that too, and just do more writing and stuff on it, because it's walking the walk and talking the talk. So
You know, you have to be,
I mean, it's like,
kind to yourself too, Peg. Like, you do a lot.
huh?
So I said, be a little bit kinder to yourself. Even one day a week, just eat stuff and don't, like, one day is like a day that doesn't count. Just have whatever you're craving. And if you do that,
I
you
do that, yeah.
stay on track better, you know?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah. I mean, Sunday's my day of maybe having an iced coffee. But, yeah, so that, that's my day. But I can't put it into my mind that I can just have a little bit. That might work well with someone who can buy, a box of candy and eat one a day and put it away and eat one or eat.
But the reality is, Peg, that sugar is really addicting. So, so it's not you. It's also that I find that if you put something in front of me that I wouldn't normally eat, and I might just have, okay, let me try this. It's vegan and it's not bad. And I actually found myself in a situation where I was actually eating more of that particular type of cookie than I would ever have eaten before. And that's when I realized, like, oh, wow, sugar really does kind of keep on you. And your body almost craves it to such a point that you can't stop. So I tell folks, if you absolutely have to have that, then just have one or two and put it away, or just actually set yourself, put them in packages, in little containers, that's your limit. But don't, your body, if you deprive your body of that particular craving, that moment, what happens is we go overboard, and then instead of having two, we have the whole box. And then at that point, your body goes, oh my gosh, what did you just do to me? I feel awful. I feel horrible. Your stomach starts to react, or other symptoms. You start to feel tired, sluggish. So your body immediately starts to say, yeah, I'm not feeling too good. I didn't like what you did. And then at that point, it becomes one of those situations where you're reaching for the Pepto, you're reaching for the ginger tea, you're reaching for other things to try and get rid of what's in your body. But it's always, it's about starting off slow and realizing that you have to be good to yourself, and don't ever give yourself a hard time for doing something, because oftentimes we're constantly dealing with these messages that are constantly flashing at us saying, oh, if you eat this, you're bad, or if you eat that, you don't care about yourself. Well, no, each person at that point in time is just take that piece of chocolate if they absolutely need it, and then move on, and know that tomorrow will be a different day for you. For you, you said that Sunday is your day. Well, that's perfect. There are some folks that are battling with every day being, the day where they're really struggling. So you're aware that, you know what, I need this, and then before you know it, that one day, you don't even need anymore. And then it becomes all week that you've just been putting stuff into your body where you're saying, wow, this is good. And if you really crave chocolate, a great way is just cacao nibs or cacao powder, and be able to make things with that, because it really does satisfy you. The raw or their whole food stuff will fill you up and satisfy you a lot longer than the processed or the sugary stuff.
And
I agree.
We're coming close to the end of the show here today.
Oh my goodness, already?
No, that's okay. I was trying to get your site up so that others can go and visit, but it's not working over here. I don't know why it's not working for me. It's Mercury.
Because it's technology.
Yes. And usually I'm right on top of it and I can handle it. But I do want you to share with others that are listening and tuning in how they can contact you and find out more about you, please.
Sure. You can email me at fit and then the number 2 defend@gmail and then .com, and I'll be more than happy to to touch base with you on any issues that you want to discuss, whether it's the fitness and nutrition or even the martial arts or self-defense. And again, I'm really honored to have this opportunity to start my morning off with you three wonderful ladies, and I get to see you ladies and share this time and talk about things that are so passionate to me. And I always tell folks, it's always keep in mind that it's one day at a time, and just always go easy and be gentle and loving with yourself. There's no need to compete with anyone. The only person you're competing with is the person in the mirror, and that's you. So, so there's no need to feel that you have to, be a certain size or look a certain way or eat a certain type of dish or anything. It's always what's right for you. Trust your body, trust your intuition. You got it. You know what you're doing. I'm just here to kind of enhance what you already know. That's it.
Awesome. Well, this person's a challenge, let me tell you. But you are a delight. Peg, you did wonderful. DC, I thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. I learned so much.
Thank you.
I'm taking that into heart, just one day at a time, and let's progress that way. As long as we're heading on that path, I don't think we can fall backwards. You know what I mean? Well, some can fall backwards. I probably could fall backwards. But the thing is to try it. Get out there. Do it.
Yep. Just do it, as they say at Nike.
Yeah.
Feel the fear and do it anyways. Thank you so much, Yvonne.
She's on Facebook,
to speak with you.
her out.
Have a great day.
You too. Love and light, everybody.
Love and light.
Love you all.
You too. Namaste.
Namaste.